So we are in week 2 of Tableau. So open this first file, basic dashboard underscore combine underscore q. So last week we discussed about what is data dashboard, for W's of a good dashboard, who is the dashboard for, internet audience. So we explained all these things in our last week session. So we discussed about tiled and floating layout. So do you remember difference between tiled and floating layout?
Yes, in Tableau there are grids and they are fixed. In
Yeah.
bottom plotting layout, we have to maintain ourselves.
We can, yeah. So the layout is not fixed. We need to adjust layout accordingly. So then comes the Tableau dashboard component. So applying filters across sheets. So why do we apply filter? So that we can reduce the amount of data we are trying to display. So how can we achieve filters in Tableau is the filters can be automatically get added to the dashboard if it is in the sheet. So if we have filters in the sheet, individual sheet, then if we pull that sheet in dashboard, then that will be automatically added. Okay, can also be added to a dashboard if it is not in the sheet,
Mhm.
but it must exist in the sheet. So there should be somewhere filter should be there in the sheet to have the filter applied. Okay, how to make filters applied to some sheet but not to all? Where should we place the filter? Okay, so let's try to do this once. So so in last week we plotted all the graphs, and now let's pull this information. So let's say if we pull the charts, weekly reports, weekly profit, and let's say customer sales. Okay. So if you want to adjust this, you can set this to entire view. So this will be adjusted here. So now what happens is once we pull this chart, this filters automatically gets added, right? These filters. So this is our first point. So filters automatically gets added to the dashboard if it is in the sheet. So how these filters are appearing, because it is there, these filters are there in the individual sheets, right? That's why we can see these filters in our dashboard. So can also be added to the dashboard if it is not in the sheet. Okay, so we can also add the filters from going through analysis. Okay, filters, and here if we want to add, we can add filters from here even. So even in dashboard we can add the filters. Okay, so how to apply filter in particular sheet only, or we want to apply this filter in completely all of our dashboard? So how can we do that is, so here let's say right now I don't have, let's say if I remove this, and even let's say remove this, so I only have two filters here. So if I change this one, so you can see this is only changing in this dashboard, in this chart, because this filter has been applied only in this chart. Okay, so to make this filter global in all the sheets, what we can do is we can go here, and here we can right click and we can apply to worksheet, and all using this data source. Okay, if we choose this, you can see here this sign. This sign means this filter has been applied to all the dashboard. So now if we change one, so it's changing, right?
Mm.
You can see every chart is changing. So in this way we can apply global global filter. So the by going through apply to worksheet and here. Okay,
Only in this data source, yeah.
use use. Or we can even apply multiple filters. So right now we applied category. We can add more filters and can apply that as a global filter. Okay. So you want to try this by yourself?
Yeah. My 14-day trial was ended, so like
Okay.
I
So
tried,
I'm
tried there.
recording. Yeah, I'm recording this session, and yeah, we will discuss about that later. Okay, your trial version.
Oh
So
yeah,
let me
it
yeah
worked.
let me complete this part.
Mhm.
So this way, in this way we apply global. We can apply global filter. Okay, and then so the next one is highlight data using annotations. Okay, for example, here we have, let's remove this map. So now we only have two charts, and I want to highlight some information here because this information looks weird because all data ranges, all customer information ranges here. So this looks suspicious, right? So if you want to display this information, you can just right click here and you can go in annotate and you can click here mark. Okay, and if you click OK, so here we can add. So here we can add this annotation. Okay,
Mm,
so something weird is going on with this customer, so we can add this annotation here.
mm,
Okay, and likewise we have two more options we have. So we want to show this point, some annotation of this point. So what we can do, we can go here, we can choose here point. Okay, so here at this point we have total profit this much, sales this much. Okay, and
mm,
if you want to show some area, so likewise we can even choose area, and we can slide some information here, and we can if you want to denote some information in particular area, so in that we can even write that. And it's like it's gonna change, it's not like this information will change as per our filter. And see here,
mm,
the information will change. This information will change, but this point will not change because this is the same point. So
mm,
this profit will not change. Okay, so this is highlight data using annotation. So labels to highlight something interesting in the data. So why we uh, add annotation? Because to highlight something interesting is there or outlier is there. So this looks like an outlier, so we highlight this information. So something interesting, we want to present that to the customer or to the client. So for that we highlight that information using annotation, or can be linked to an axis or a mark. We can annotation can be either mark or so annotation can be either your mark, point, or area. Three can be. Okay, so it ensures the viewer can see all the important details, particularly good for explanatory dashboard. So explanatory dashboard means, so we have four types of dashboard. Yeah, exploratory, informative, explanatory, and KPI. Right?
mm,
Explanatory means drawing insight. So we have four types of dashboard here.
mm,
Exploratory means for discovery, to find something, discover something. Informative is to build for some information. Explanatory means build for insight, and KPI, key performance indicator, means build for attention. Okay? So to highlight some important information, we use annotation, or any suspicious information, we use annotation. Okay, then comes uh, suppose for example, if we need to add some image, some button, some, if you want to add some button, then we can even add that button here. How to add button is, so we need to download the button from this from Google. We need to find, suppose if you find help button. Okay, so if you go in image, so we can choose any info button, let's say. So you can choose any button. Okay, and then this, we can store this button information inside shapes. So if we go in shapes info,
Mm.
so document, so you can see here inside your shapes
Mm.
slash info,
Mm.
I have added to help button and info button. So it should be inside, because it should be inside your my Tableau repository,
Mm.
shapes and info. Okay, so after having this button here, what we can do, we need to create one blank field. Okay, so to create one blank field, so we can create any, suppose these are all the available fields, right, in the data set. So to create any blank or additional field, we can use calculated field. Okay, calculated field. So here we can give the column name. Okay, and then create one calculated field. So here I have created one calculated field, and this is blank. So this is blank calculated field I have created. Okay, and let me show you this stage. So I have created this blank calculated field. Here it's nothing, it's blank. Okay, so here I have changed this to shape, and then from shape, more shape, and from here I have chosen this value. So
Mm.
this I have chosen. So this is a, then you can choose apply. Okay, okay, so here you can see, so you can increase the shape as per our requirement, and you can change the column to our requirement. Okay, so in this way we can add icons if you want.
Mm.
So dashboard, so title, if I want to add help icon, you can even add. So this help icon needs to be floating,
Mm.
right, because
Yes.
we need to adjust this information. So we can adjust this information. Let's remove that, hide that title. Now this icon, let's say we add one icon information, and to update information in icon. So to update this information, dashboard on data source, we go to tool tips. Okay, in tool tips we write this information here, whatever we want to write. Okay, that will be reflected in the once we highlight this information. Okay,
So
so if you want to,
basically, we need these icons in dashboard to like to give more info,
more,
than in
yeah,
dashboard than we're showing in dashboard.
yeah,
If we want to point out some specific
information. If you want, we
information.
can keep an increase or decrease this size. Okay, so let's make it entire. So this entire doesn't look good here. Make it the standard. Or entire will look good, but we need to decrease the size. Yeah. And now this looks more visible, right?
Mm.
Not showing. Why it is not showing here?
Yeah, there will be.
Okay. So in this way we can add the icons if we want. We can in this way similar way we add the
Oh,
logo and also we can add in similar fashion. Okay. And so this is info button in dashboard instructions on how to read dashboard or where the data came from. So why we need, so so it contains all the instructions of your dashboard with key component and all information we add in info button. Help with information button as to not to take a valuable space. That's why we make this as a hover so that people can hover this and can see what information is being displayed here. And there is a collapsible container. So collapsible container, how to create a collapsible container is, uh, so if we double click here and if we right click here, we need to change this to float. Okay. So if we change this to float and here if we make this as show and hide button,
mm,
so right now this become your collapsible container. Okay.
okay.
So in this way your filters are all hidden, and once you click here then it becomes visible. So this is how we create a collapsible container. So why collapsible container is useful? Because useful way to hide containers, example your filters parameters help logs, make sure all elements are needed on the dashboard. For example, if we create a collapsible container we need to be careful. For example, if we have applied any filter here, then because the collapsible container will not be visible, so we need to be careful that like any filter has been applied or not. So for that, we need to be careful that any information is not being lost. Okay. So for that, we use a collapsible container. Okay. Yeah. So let's do this much till today.
Okay.
Okay, so try to create these icon by yourself. Try to add and play with annotation, collapsible container. Okay, so let me stop the recording.